Morning, everybody. Everybody's so quiet. Wow. One of those days, right? Welcome to Unity. We're going to sing our song. We're changing the first song today. Going back to We Are Unity.
One,
Good morning. For those of you who are online, this is going to make no sense to you, but for those of you who are in the sanctuary, I almost feel like the church is going to dip this way. I got up here and I see most everybody is on this side of the church. So, if we start doing this online, you'll know why. But good morning. Good morning again, everybody. Welcome to our Sunday morning celebration service. Welcome to all who are watching online on YouTube and Facebook. Jerry, did you just say something to me? Did you just say something to me? Okay. All right. So good morning to Ellen, and good morning to Pam, good morning to Phil and Jess, and to Bobby, and to everyone else who may be watching online. So glad that you're here. And to everybody in the sanctuary, welcome. As always, we have the Joyful Noise Band and Choir, collectively known as Joyful Noise. And I'd like to introduce you to our newest choir member. Yay, that's Diane Murphy-Brecker. Yeah. So let that be inspiration to you. So if you would like to raise your voice in song and join us in our Joyful Noise Band and Choir, we have rehearsals on Tuesday nights at 5:30 for the band and 6 o'clock for choir, and they last for an hour, 7 o'clock, we are done. So come and join us on Tuesday night if you like. And further going on about Joyful Noise Band and Choir, Don and Doreen are off to Unity Village, affectionately known as our mothership. Yeah. They leave on Tuesday for a music conference that was actually scheduled for 2020, and we all know what happened in 2020. So it is finally coming to pass, so I invite you to join me in lifting them up for a wonderful, really inspiring trip for them. So, yeah, thank you. And Doreen is featured on special music today, so we're in for a treat. Thank you to Scott Dykema this morning. I don't know if Scott or Mary Claire is watching online, but we had some issues with our air conditioner this week, and Scott came in, as he does, and made everything as good as new. So thank you to Scott Dykema. And it's time to welcome our first-timers. If you are a first-timer present in the sanctuary and you feel comfortable, if you'd like to raise your hand, please do so Ricky can see you and bring you a welcome packet. Anybody here today for the first time who would like a welcome packet? Very good. Glad you're... Thanks for being here. There's a form in the welcome packet that if you take it out and fill it out and take it to the welcome packet, Sylvie would be delighted to give you a gift. And then that form will also get you on our weekly email newsletter list. So we invite you to do that. Also in that packet is some information about our Greater Unity Movement and our particular Unity Church. And a prayer request form is in there. And if you'd like to put that in the, what is that thing called that a prayer request form goes in? The box! So not for nothing. Right? Is that familiar to anybody? Right? So aging comes with a lot of graces and also some gaps. So simple words like box just disappear.
Yes, and gas.
All right. So be that as it may. I digress. All right. So what else? Oh, yes. There's some cookies and coffee in the kitchen. Please join us in the kitchen and on the patio after service. Good Lord. What we'd like you all to know, most importantly, is Unity of Stuart is a welcoming, affirming, positive path of spirituality. We welcome everybody here. We celebrate everyone, no exceptions. And thank you for honoring us with your presence today. Yeah, if you'd like a welcome packet and you're online, there's the email to email May, and she'd be delighted to send you a welcome packet. Today, we have a prayer chaplain on duty today, and that is Roberta, and she will be in the sanctuary after service. If you would like some personal prayer, she would be more than honored to pray with you, and of course, to hold your prayer in the highest confidence. Online, you can email us at prayer@unityofstuart.org, or you could alternatively, and as well, you could call our Silent Unity prayer line, which is in our home office, and then they will also pray with you there. As always, we have a live meditation on Facebook at 10 a.m. with our own Cheryl Roby, and that's every Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock unless she posts something otherwise. And so if you'd like a little calming, this might be an oxymoron, but a calming meditation or a calming boost, join Cheryl on Facebook. If you would like to serve Unity of Stuart as a welcome team member, and you see the welcome team when you walk in, you see the podium, and Sylvie is the lead on the welcome team. If you'd like to serve on the welcome team, please see Sylvie or sign up in the foyer. We have, for this coffee house, because our own Donna is unable to join us for the September coffee house, we have what we're calling the terrific trio of Don and Doreen and Jen for our September 28th Connected Souls concert. You know, we've called it Coffee House for so long, the spiritual coffee house, and we've kind of tried to get away from that, but it always comes out.
Coffee house.
So
And Michael Barrett will also be joining us.
Michael Barrett will also be joining. Michael Barrett's in the back. He's serving as usher today. Michael plays is it a Spanish guitar? Classical guitar.
Yeah.
Michael plays a mean classical guitar. And are you self-taught, Michael?
Yep.
Oh my God, he's
Yes,
awesome.
100%.
So, oh, Don's teaching you now. Oh, wonderful. Okay.
They're going to do a piece together, and if you missed the last time they did that in April, it was amazing.
Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Awesome. So yeah, music starts at 7 o'clock, doors open at 6:30. It is a $10 suggested love offering, and these folks do this from the goodness of their heart every single month for years and years and years. And all the proceeds come back to Unity of Stuart. So thank you, Connected Souls. All right, let's take a deep breath together as we move into our dedication. So today is, what's a better word than anniversary for September 11th? Remembrance. Thank you very much. The remembrance of September 11th. And I'd like to read to you, there's something that wasn't written by me, and I just found it, and it's unknown. So I invite you to take a deep breath. On this day, now 21 years ago, 246 people went to sleep in preparation for their morning flights. 2,600 people went to sleep in preparation for work on this morning. 343 firefighters went to sleep in preparation for their morning shift. 60 police officers went to sleep in preparation for morning patrol. 8 paramedics went to sleep in preparation for the morning shift. None of them saw past 10 a.m. on September 11th, 2001. In one single moment, life may never be the same. As you live and enjoy the breaths you take today and tonight, before you go to sleep in preparation for your life tomorrow, kiss the ones you love, snuggle a little tighter, and never take 1 second of your life for granted. And our daily word today centers around compassion. Divine love expresses through me as compassion. When I see someone in distress, my heart goes out to them. I may be inspired to offer my support or to assist them in finding the help they require. I, too, have faced difficult times in my life. I know how much relief one can feel just knowing another person cares. In many ways, we need each other. When I reach out to someone, we both benefit. Compassion, as an expression of the love of God, moves through me to another. It fills my heart as well as theirs. I feel a connection with my higher self when I can make a positive difference in someone's life. I look for and easily find ways to express God's love as compassion. And we breathe and know that as we sit in this place and wherever we are this morning, that we allow, affirm, and claim that our hearts are open with compassion. That we are the conduit of divine love, divine joy, divine peace, and divine compassion in the world. And we are so very grateful to be doing this work right now in compassion. Divine love expresses through me as compassion, and so it is. Amen. And let's affirm that together. Divine love expresses through me as compassion. And taking that deep breath and affirming once more together. Divine love expresses through me as compassion. And so it is. Before we do our song for our meditation, I want to do something I forgot. I want to say hi to all those who are watching on Facebook and who allow themselves to be seen. And that is Cheryl. Good morning, Cheryl. That's Cheryl Alley. And that is Delia and Judy Gaskin, my beloved from Albuquerque. Hi, Judy. Mike Taylor. Mike, we miss you. Come back to church, man. And Lori and Jen, as always. And then also Cheryl in Connecticut. And Tawny. Welcome, Tawny. I don't think I've seen your name at all yet. And welcome to our service.
She comes there.
And oh, okay. And Judy Miller. So welcome everybody, and for all those who did allow themselves to be seen, and for all those who are stealth, welcome. We're glad you're here. Now, let's prepare for prayerful meditation. We have a bunch of new songs today, new old songs, and join us in singing "Be Still."
1, 2, 3, 4.
Be still, be quiet. It's the only way. You will hear the voice of God.
And as we do each time we enter into prayerful meditation, I invite you into 3 deep breaths. And dropping your shoulders. Letting go of any baggage that you brought in this morning. And allowing your body to relax as fully as you are able. And knowing that Holy Spirit moves in and through each one of us, a spirit of love, of wholeness, of joy, of compassion, of peace. Let's move into prayerful meditation. Letting go, letting be. And once more, breathing in, acknowledging divine life as the allness in which we live, in which we move and have our being. And breathing out, we clear that which no longer serves divine purpose. Breathing in and out, we honor oneness as we affirm, allow, and accept clarity, purity of heart, and unity with our highest self. And as we move deeper into prayerful meditation, I invite you to allow the words you hear to become the words of your own mind and heart. I am a precious expression of divine life, divine love, divine spirit. It is in this truth that I live, move, and have my being. I am one in God. I am supported, uplifted in the divine presence, whole and holy. And as I know this for myself, I know this truth for every other being on the planet. We each, I, have everything necessary within myself to bring forth into manifestation the innate perfection of spirit. I give thanks for light-filled vision and for light-filled visionaries in the world. I am blessed. I am whole and holy. I am prospered in all things. I am blessed. I am whole, holy, and prospered in all good things. In the quiet. And having co-created this sacred space of love, of light, of holiness and wholeness, I invite us to bring into our awareness all of those who are in our minds and hearts this morning, all of those who are in our prayer box this morning, seeing each one lifted up in holiness and wholeness. And if you'd like to speak names out into this holy space, now's the time. And releasing our prayers into the care and keeping of the One. I invite you to join me in praying this in the name, in the nature, in the light, and in the love of the indwelling Christ consciousness. And so it is. Amen. And back to a new old favorite, the New Lord's Prayer.
Good morning. This is a song that Reverend Jude actually found for us. And she requested that I sing it.
Hold on one sec.
And she gets what she wants.
All right.
Ready?
Yep.
One, two, one, two, three, four. Grateful for your tenderness when life can feel unkind. Grateful for the way you see when I'm stuck inside my mind. I'm grateful for your courage to hold your steady ground. I'm grateful for compassion when mine cannot be found. Oh, compassion where broken hearts bleed. Sweet compassion when my soul's in need. I find compassion abound. Grateful when you take my hand and turn my head around. I'm grateful for the healing and warmth of your embrace. I'm grateful for compassion to touch a deeper place. For compassion where broken hearts bleed.
Compassion, sweet compassion,
Sweet compassion when my soul's in need.
compassion, sweet
I find
compassion,
compassion for friends and enemies.
compassion, sweet
My own
compassion,
compassion is where my spirit breathes.
compassion, sweet compassion,
Whoa. Make me, mold me, shape me, shift me, do all that I can be. That I may express your endless compassion. It's where I wanna be. Oh, compassion where broken hearts bleed.
compassion, sweet compassion,
Sweet compassion when my soul's in need.
compassion, sweet
I find
compassion,
compassion for friends and enemies.
compassion, sweet
My own
compassion,
compassion is where my spirit breathes.
compassion, sweet compassion.
Whoa. Thank you.
Thank you. Joyful noise. Thank you, Rini. Thank you, Jamie Lula, who wrote that song. Make me, mold me, shape me, shift me. That's why you're here today. Did you know that? That's why you're here today. Make me, mold me, shape me, shift me. So that we can be more of who Spirit would have us be, yes? And that's the continuing reason for coming to church, for coming into spiritual community. The continual reason for me, and I would suggest maybe it is for you, is transformation. It's comfort, yes. It's peace, yes. And it's also transformation to be the highest that we can be, the best human beings that we can be on the planet, yes? Yes. It's not about worshiping anything outside of us. It's about aligning that which we are with that which is bigger than us, the energy of the divine, the energy of love, the energy of wholeness and peace and compassion. That's the work that we do here. I just want to say a couple of words after not having the Lord's Prayer for a while. When we sing the Lord's Prayer, and you might wonder why we sing what seems to be to something outside of ourselves, right? We say mother and we say father. Well, part of the reason why we say mother and father and not just father is because it's kind of silly to call that energy that we call God any gender. It has no gender. It is pure and divine energy, pure and divine love. So that's why we say mother, father. And even beyond that, it's a series of affirmations, that song, the New Lord's Prayer. It's about connecting our own divinity with the larger, more mysterious divinity. Does that make sense? And that's why we sing these songs. And also, here's another reason why. I'm digressing, I know, but so be it. We here at Unity can be a bridge to people who have been in traditional Christianity or any other religion. It can be a bridge and into The transformation from thinking we do worship something outside of ourselves into aligning with that which we can call a mystery. So, there's that. There's the introduction for today. And now the real introduction. We're exploring 4 different aspects of God, and we call it acts of God. I don't mean disasters, earthquakes, hurricanes, all the things that we see, any kind of weather or anything like that. I mean, A stands for amazing grace, which we talked about last week. C, obviously today, for compassion. T, for to boldly go, and we'll talk about what that looks like to move our feet. And then finally, S, for sacred service. So, that spells out, obviously, the word acts. So each of these things that we'll talk about and have talked about this month are acts of God. And as I started to say before, when we align and work in harmony with grace and with compassion and being bold and serving, we get ever closer to the truth of who we are. And we begin our transformation and continue our transformation no matter what is happening in the physical. No matter what is happening in the physical. So last week we got clear that, hopefully we got clear, I'm affirming that we got clear, that divine grace is bestowed on everyone, no matter what. We don't have to work for grace. We don't have to make a lot of effort to enjoy grace. We have to be aware of it. So, today is about an act of God that comes from within us. The human expression of God, or as we can say, the microcosm. Last week was a macrocosm for grace. Today is a microcosm of compassion and how we use our own innate compassion to make a difference in our lives and to make a difference in the lives of others. So I know you've all experienced compassion, right? That empathy for others, the caring and love for our fellow travelers on this journey we're on this earthly path. And what that might feel like is our hearts are full. We have a sense of oneness, a sense of softness, of openness, where we are receptive and alive to what's going on in the planet, on the planet. Yes? Is that what it feels like for you when you're in compassion? Now let's think for a moment when you're in the opposite of compassion. And I don't know about you, but I've had a lot of practice getting myself out of the opposite of compassion. So what do we call that? What is that? Judgment, anger, resentment, finding fault, blaming, being afraid. And that doesn't come with a sense of openness or softness at all, does it? We feel separated, yes? We feel tight and restricted, angry, when we're opposite from compassion. So you've felt that too, right? Yeah. So. And it's perhaps easy to feel compassionate in this kind of environment because we are reminded of it, about how important it is. But what happens at 11:45, or after service? What happens then? Thank you, Hildy. Thank you for that chuckle. We sometimes quickly revert to something else when we move out into life. And we find a lot to be in judgment about. Yes, it's not just me, right? We find a lot to judge. We find reasons to be angry. We find reasons to find fault and to blame and to fear. Whether we're talking about compassion and not compassion, here or out there, the results are the same. We are separate. We do it to ourselves, right? We do it to ourselves. So compassion, empathy, love, caring equals expansiveness, wholeness, a sense of oneness, a greater feeling of aliveness. And anger, judgment, blame, and fear is restriction, separation, and a shrinking of our knowledge of our divinity, and a shrinking of our divine expression. So, Here's what New Thought pioneer Ernest Holmes wrote on what will happen when we are in a space of love and compassion. He said this: if we can become the living embodiment of love and light, if we can bind ourselves together reverently in love and compassion, in mutual tolerance and understanding, under the cohesive powers of the universal law of good and the beneficence of a divine and universal presence, then we shall be able to lead the world down the pathway of a new enlightenment. The living embodiment of love and light. Take a moment, would you, and think about, contemplate for a moment what that feels like to you, being the living embodiment of love and light. That's powerful, isn't it? So my question becomes, do you want to do that? Do you want to participate in leading the world in love and compassion? My guess is that every one of you has said yes to that. And then my next question is, are you sure? Are you sure? Because this is challenging work. It's challenging work to show up like that in the world. So, especially if your answer is yes, I have some things for you to think about. So I'm not going to talk today about compassion for things that are easy to have compassion for, right? To have compassion for hungry children or innocent people or animals who don't have any agency, people caught in the crossfires of war, or the hundreds upon hundreds of other things that we could feel compassion for. So, because of course we have compassion for those things. And we are often called to reach out and offer assistance and comfort. Of course we do that. That's a given. That's a baseline, especially if you're within the sound of my voice. I know that that's a baseline for you. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about having compassion, love, and caring for those who aren't so lovable, who you have deemed aren't compassion worthy. And I bet you as you sit here, you can think of at least 5 things, 5 people who aren't worthy of compassion. But having compassion for those people is where the rubber meets the road. That's where a difference is truly made, not just in me, not just in you, but in the world. So, I want to share with you the words I just shared from Ernest Holmes, but I'm going to add a few phrases. If we can become the living embodiment of love and light to those we find unlovable, if we can bind ourselves together reverently in love and compassion, in mutual tolerance and understanding of those we judge despicable, under the cohesive powers of the universal law of good and the beneficence of a divine and universal presence, and only then shall we be able to lead the world down the pathway of a new enlightenment. That's a big call, isn't it? That's a big call. I keep wanting to say, especially now. It's a big call to take that challenge on. And that's exactly what I'm inviting us into today, to take that challenge on. In order to be a person who can help lead the world down the pathway of a new enlightenment, there's a spiritual practice that we have to become proficient at. We must engage in it regularly in small ways so that we build our compassion muscles for when the next big thing comes. And sometimes we will balk at this practice. We want to be spiritual. We want to live a God-driven life, a spirit-led life, but don't ask me to do this. Anybody have any idea what's the practice I'm thinking of? Shout it out. Ding, ding, ding. Forgiveness. Forgiveness is a step, not an end. This practice has changed my life and changed my body. forgiveness has been pivotal for me regaining health. So, forgiveness is a step to open our hearts so that love and compassion can flow through us. If we hold unforgiveness in our heart for anything, for anybody, we are damming up the flow. There's no way around it. Believe me, I've looked. There's no way that we can hold on to the unforgiveness, to hold on to resentment and anger and judgment and be a clear channel for spirit. It just doesn't happen. We can be a little challenged, a little channel for spirit. We can, but it's like stepping on a hose, right? We block the flow. Some water will get through. Some light will get through. And yet we need to do more if that's the case. So I want to share with you 3 types of forgiveness that we must diligently practice. The first 2 are the ones that will help us do the third one when that becomes necessary. So the first one is easy, and yet it's still necessary. It's, I love you, and what you did isn't a big deal because you're my friend. Like, you were late and kept me waiting for lunch. No big deal. I love you. You're my friend. And then we have, so that's it. We're done with that one. So then we have inconvenient forgiveness. Could be one of 2 things. I love you, and you did something that I really didn't like. I love you, and you did something I really didn't like. And then there's, I really don't like you, and you did just about anything. Hello? Right. So, for that, we send this person a blessing every time we think of them. We all have someone like that, and we send them a blessing every time we think of them. And that shifts something inside of us. It takes the foot off the hose even more. We're shifted when we're in judgment, and we send a blessing. And it doesn't matter how you start it. It doesn't matter how you start that blessing. It could be even something like if you don't fall in front of a moving train first, I bless you with love and abundance. If you don't get hit by a Mack truck tomorrow, I bless you with love and abundance. And then eventually what will happen is we'll drop the violence in our thoughts. We'll drop the violence. And I have direct experience of this in my first marriage and my first divorce. I have direct experience because I had violent thoughts. And I don't think that my first husband watches this, but if you do, John, I don't have those thoughts anymore. And it was like, it was violent thoughts. I'm not going to tell you what I thought, but it was violent thoughts until I got in the groove of my practice. Right? I got in the groove of my practice. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. Guess who that's for first? Me. And then that vibration goes out to the others, to those we are blessing. An abbreviated version of that could be, I love you, I bless you, I release you from whatever expectations or whatever resentments you've been holding. I love you, I bless you, I release you. And we have lots of opportunities to practice that, yes? So we must practice those types of forgiveness on a regular basis so that we can journey further along on this path. So every time we engage in convenient and inconvenient forgiveness, we let more love flow. We become bigger containers for spirit, which then allows us to move to the third type of forgiveness, which, not for nothing. I want to say especially now, but I know that, when we talk about the good old days, there's always been strife and challenge and fighting and political discord. Maybe not quite as much as we're experiencing now. but we have always had it. So even now, we are called into this practice of compassion and forgiveness. So, here's profound forgiveness. It calls us up to a higher and holy place, to a higher and holier practice, to move beyond our opinion, our human construct, into a forgiveness that doesn't make sense to our human mind. Our master teacher, Jesus, spoke of profound forgiveness when he said in Matthew, I say to you, love your enemies, bless anyone who curses you, do good to anyone that hates you, and pray for those who carry you away by force and persecute you. For if you love only those who love you, what reward will you have? Where's the virtue? Where's the spiritual practice in loving only those who love us? Story by Jack Kornfield, the American Buddhist. True story, he says. This happened in Washington, D.C. A 14-year-old boy had shot and killed an innocent teenager to prove himself to a gang. And at the trial, the victim's mother sat silent until the end of the trial when the youth was convicted of the killing. And after the verdict was announced, she stood up slowly and stared directly at him and stated, I am going to kill you. Then the youth was taken away to prison or the juvenile facility for several years. After 6 months, the mom of the slain teen went to visit this young man, his killer. He had been living on the streets before the slaying, and she was the only visitor he had. For a time that they talked for a while, and as she left, she gave him some money for cigarettes. And then she began to visit him step by step more regularly, bringing him food and small gifts. Near the end of his sentence, she asked him what he would be doing when he got out. Well, of course, he was confused and uncertain, so she offered to help him set up a job with a friend at a friend's company. Then she asked him about where he would live, and since he had no family to return to, she offered him temporary use of a spare room in her home. For 8 months, he lived there, ate her food, and worked at the job. And then one evening, she called him into the living room to talk, and she sat down opposite him and said, do you remember in the courtroom when I said I was going to kill you? He said, I sure do. I'll never forget that moment. And here's what she said. I did not want the boy who could kill my son for no reason to remain alive on this earth. I wanted him to die. That's why I started to visit you and bring you things. That's why I got you the job and let you live here in my house. That's how I set about killing him. And that old boy, he's gone. So now I want to ask you, since my son is gone and that killer is gone, would you stay here? I've got room, and I'd like to adopt you if you let me. And she became the mother of her son's killer, the mother he never had. You know, I shared this story with someone this week, and they said, I don't understand that. How could anybody forgive that, much less take the person into their home? Well, here's another story that may help with understanding. So years ago, there was an email floating around the internet about a dream a woman had, some random woman, I don't know her name. And in the dream, Jesus was being interviewed by Jon Stewart. Do we know who Jon Stewart is? He was the Daily Show, the satirical, liberal Daily Show. So the entire thing is pretty profound, but I want to share with you some of the end of it. So this is what Jesus tells Jon Stewart. Forget everything you have ever learned in any holy book and just treat everyone like a brother and a sister. We'll call that sibling from now on. I mean that literally. If it were your sibling coming across the border, your sibling with cancer and no health care, your child unable to get an education, your parent with no food in the house, and even further, what about your brother or sister or sibling who was gay or hated gays? Your sister who was a corrupt politician? Your brother who bombed an abortion clinic? Your sister who got an abortion? What does it look like to love unconditionally? to bridge differences, to come together over what we can agree on? Can you get through one day without thinking you're better or less than another? Can you get through one day? This is the thing to strive for. This is living faithfully. But, says Stuart, this is older, so the words in here. What about the Tea Partiers? What about hate crimes? What about terrorists? What about the Fox News Channel? So Jesus says, if you think they are so different from you, be the opposite of what you think they are and enact that powerfully in the world. Don't focus on who's wrong, just be a greater force for good. And he says, not focus on what's wrong. How could I do my show? He says. Exactly, Jesus says. Remember what Gandhi said? Be the change you want to see in the world? Well, it's time to take it a step further. I agree with what he said, but I'll say it in a different way just to shake things up a bit, which I love to do. By the way, it'd make a great bumper sticker. Be the God you want to see in the world. Be the God you want to see in the world. And I add, be the consciousness you want to see in the world. Be the consciousness of peace and love and joy and compassion and holiness and wholeness in the world. Be the consciousness you want to meet in the world. There is no other way to get the world we say we want. Amen? So it's through this regular practice of forgiveness, convenient and inconvenient forgiveness, that we'll be able to express profound forgiveness. That's the stepping stones, the convenient and inconvenient. Then we move on to the profound forgiveness, because that's how we see the change in the world. We could call it unconditional love. We could call it unconditional forgiveness. And believe me when I say to you, this is not easy work. It's simple. The concept is simple. And it's something we have to practice every single day of our lives. You may not invite someone to live in your home, but through profound forgiveness, you can invite them to have safe passage in your heart. If there's somebody in your mind, in your thinking right now, that this applies to, I invite you to take a deep breath for a moment. And whether it feels true or not, I invite you to say silently to yourself, I give you safe passage in my heart. Or you might wish to say, I'm willing to give you safe passage in my heart. I give you safe passage in my heart. So let this be our prayer from the song, the Jamie Lula song that Doreen shared with us. Make me, mold me, shape me, shift me to all that I can be, that I may express your endless compassion. It's where I want to be. I claim this for each and every one of us. Namaste. And it is our time for our celebration of abundance. And for those that are online, there are all the ways that you can give to Unity of Stuart, and also you in the sanctuary if you'd like to. And oh yeah, I also want to remind every once in a while, I remind people about Amazon Smile, .amazon.com, and that choose Unity of Martin County for your charity. That's our what do you call it? Official name, our corporate name. And we will get, I don't know, a penny every time you order something on Amazon, but it does add up. So, we're talking about unity and standing on the foundation of these teachings. As you circulate your tithe, I invite you to project the feeling of love that you have for your spiritual community into your gifts. So know that those gifts are blessed by love and compassion and wholeness and prosperity. And they move through Unity of Stuart to go out to bless the world. So Let's affirm our prosperity prayer together. In a universe overflowing with the allness of God, all of the needs of unity of Stuart and those we serve are instantly, constantly, and bountifully met. From every direction, known and unknown, expected and unexpected, our abundant good comes to us now. We are grateful. Amen. And our love offering blessing together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give and receive always in love. And let's sing our gratitude.
We all give our gratitude and give thanks for the multitude of blessings given every day to help us all along the way. We give thanks for a chance to give our gifts and for the lives we live in all the mercies from above that fill our hearts with grace and love. We give thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks. Oh, we give thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks. Oh, we give thanks.
We have another set of announcements, and we are inviting you to join in our fundraising, Help Shine the Light on our parking lot. If you have the means and feel like that's a good place to put your means, we invite you to designate your gift to lighting. And please, over and above your regular giving would be awesome. Living in Unity. So here's this. On the 14th, that's this coming Wednesday, I'll be facilitating the first of 2 classes, Living in Unity, which is a basic Unity principles class. And that'll be on Zoom. Actually, it says in person there, but most people wanted it on Zoom, so we're going to stick to Zoom. And which means anybody watching from anywhere can come and join us on Zoom for these classes. And if you haven't signed up yet and would like to, please do that ASAP so that I can send you the class manual that we'll be moving through to talk about unity principle and practice. Wednesday nights, 6 to 7:30, September 14th and the 21st. If you're in the room and you'd like, and also for all y'all who may be members or have no interest in becoming a member, you can still join us just for the fun of it and to just get a refresher on unity teaching. And with that, please join us as we sing our kiddos in with Walking in the Light.
We are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light of God. We are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light of God. In the light of God.
Closer to me. There you go. Jamin, Daisy. All right. Hi. How's it going? Good. Can I say your name out loud to the people? That's Rocky, everybody. How about you? Can I say your name out loud to everybody? That's RJ, everybody. And we know all other kids, don't we? So let's just do names, since I did a little bit of names. So,
My name is Nova.
is this on, Jerry?
My name is Nova.
My name is Nova. My name is Sty.
So get a load of this. You know what I did in the service before? I forgot the word box. I was talking about the prayer box, and I said the prayer. What is that thing called? The prayers are in, and somebody said box. So I get it. So what's your name?
Sky.
Sky.
Rocky.
Rocky.
Ojibusky.
RJ Busky. Oops. Mom?
Dahlia
Dahlia.
and Daisy.
Daisy.
German.
Jamin? Jen. All right. So, oh, you know what? You could sit down for a moment. Thank you for standing and honoring our little ones. All right, Jen, we got some announcements.
Yes. Okay, as always, open call for anyone that's wanting to pour their heart into the youth and come and serve in the classroom or even just help with some of our events, our fundraising events. If you have already done so, you are super appreciated. There's always a place for more love and energy poured into this classroom is always a good place to pour it into,
All
for
right,
sure.
moving on.
Moving on, next week, potato bar. Yay. Yeah.
Boom shakalaka.
Boom shakalaka.
Yeah.
Potato bar. So a $5 love offering to fill up on some potatoes and all the toppings imaginable.
All right, that's next week.
Next week after service.
And then we have coming up on October 22nd, this is, we are a supporting church to
Promise.
Family Promise, false alarm, of Martin County. And just let me tell you a couple of things about Family Promise. They help house families. That's why it's called Family Promise. Homeless families with children. And so, and is it true, where are you, Roberta, that they have to have a job? They don't have to have a job. Okay, is there anything else you want these folks to know about Family Promise? Oh, sorry, put you on the spot.
Thank you. They really do so much. They not only bring families in, they shelter them in some of our host churches. They keep people in the homes that are able to by giving them financial aid. They have 228 families they have served since they've started. They began in 2018, but they really didn't get up and going until 2020. But they are a great organization. They give transportation, education, financial training, just about everything they can to get the people back into a stable home because our affordable housing situation is really not good and more families are being left out. So thank you for supporting.
All right, so how we're going to support that is we're going to take part as a church into the bed races, the 3rd annual bed races. So what that looks like is the organizations that support make a bed. And they race it. I mean, literally, a twin bed. So, you know, there are some things that we're asking your support with. And one of them, if anybody has a twin, oh, good Lord, bed frame, I got it. A twin bed frame that you would like to donate. You might get it back, but I wouldn't count on it. A twin bed frame. And then, what else? Casters. Okay. Oh, yeah, so it has to be on wheels. Yeah. And what else? There's something else I wanted to say. Money. So yes. So it'll cost Unity of Stuart $150 to join the bed races, and of course that goes to Family Promise. However, if there is someone with a business or knows someone with a business that would like to sponsor, you'll get your name on things, and so will we. And the sponsorship is $1,000. Or we could get 2 for $500 each. So if you know of anybody or you yourself have a company and would like to donate, you please see Roberta. Oh, I have it in my hand, Roberta. Here's the form to become a sponsor. So there's forms out on the information table if you'd like to pick one up. All right, I think that's it. Oh, there's a meeting today after service in the classroom. One more? Really about the children. All right, am I done? Does anybody else have anything over here? Oh, hold on. Go ahead, honey.
I love my grandma.
You love what? What do you love?
I love my grandma.
You love your grandma? Oh, okay.
I love this church.
I love this church. All right, awesome. All right. Let us bless our loving children as we stand.
We bless you. We truly, truly appreciate you. We hold the Christ in you.
And we invite you to hold our kiddos in your prayers. Let us close with the prayer for protection and the peace song together. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. And the presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever I am, God is. I am divine. And let's sing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And let's affirm one more time together. Divine love expresses through me as compassion. And so it is. Amen.